Hey guys, it's Parker. This video is dedicated to the awesome group of subscribers that are either preparing for their driver's test or just starting out with driving, or even the age group that's a bit younger than that, curious about what it's like to drive on the highway. Statistically, actually, the highway is one of the safest places you can be while driving. But it's of course intimidating at first because of the higher speeds. So with these few simple tips, you're going to be able to drive on the highway as safely as possible. There are three main parts of highway driving: entering the highway, driving on the highway, and exiting. Let's start with getting on. Something people almost always do incorrectly is get onto the highway at the wrong speed. By the end of the on-ramp, you should be going the same speed as the flow of traffic. If it's bumper to bumper, obviously you won't be going very fast, but if the freeway is going at 70 miles an hour, you want to be at 70 by the time you enter the freeway. Check your rear view mirror, signal, side mirror, look over your shoulder, and if it's clear, make sure to position yourself right in the gap. Now that you're on the highway, which lane should you use? Well, in general, the lane farthest to the right is the slow lane or the exit lane. The lanes in the middle are where the majority of the flow of traffic are going, and then the lane farthest to the left is the fast lane or the passing lane. Now, it is important to check your state law. For instance, in Colorado, it's illegal to maintain in the fast lane for anything other than just passing other cars. Whereas in Massachusetts, it's actually illegal to stay in the fast lane and not yield to traffic moving faster than you. So you can maintain position in the farthest to the left lane, but if someone's going faster than you and you don't get out of the way after they signal you or bright you, you can actually get a ticket for that. In general, I'd recommend traveling in the lane that's just to the right of the fast lane. The next thing you have to worry about is lane changes. Check your rear view mirror, signal, check your side view mirror, look over your shoulder, and if it's clear, merge gently and smoothly into the next lane. And then when you're fully in the lane, you can turn your signal off. The general rule of thumb is you should keep 2 to 3 seconds of following distance between you and the car in front of you. It seems like a lot, but it really is the safest thing possible. If the car in front of you slams on your brakes, you don't want to be the one that rear ends them. Unfortunately, in a state like Michigan, where everyone is tailgating each other, leaving a huge gap like that probably is inviting 10 cars to swing in front of you. But when you just start out driving, please maintain proper following distance. Figuring out following distance is pretty easy. Pick a landmark, whether it's a sign, tree, pole, doesn't really matter. As the car in front of you passes that position, count how many seconds it takes for you to then reach it. If it's 2 to 3 seconds, you're all set with proper following distance. Speeding is obviously something that's very tempting to do while you're on the highway. In general, if you're going around 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, you're probably not going to get a ticket. But you have to remember that you can get a ticket for even going 1 mile per hour over the speed limit if the cop wants to. And even in certain situations like heavy rain or heavy fog, you can get ticketed for going the speed limit. You have to read the flow of traffic. If everyone's going 35 miles per hour on the freeway because it's hard to see, then you should be going 35 miles per hour along with them. The severity of punishment for speeding varies greatly from state to state. In Virginia, for instance, if you go over 80 miles an hour or over 20 miles per hour greater than a posted speed limit, it is a misdemeanor. It's the same category of offense as a DUI and is punishable of up to a $2,500 fine and jail time. So if you live in Virginia, do not go over 80 miles an hour. It's not worth it. The next step is exiting. Very similar to lane changes. I like to get in the exit lane about a mile or a half mile before the exit. Look in your rear view, signal, side view, check your blind spot, and if you're safe, merge over into that lane. And when you're firmly in the exit lane, you can turn your signal off. Then decelerate if you're coming to, whether it's a stop sign, stop light, or you're just merging onto a different freeway, you have to judge which speed to go. Some quick tips to help you out with highway driving. Be very aware of construction zones. Often in construction zones, the speed limit changes from, let's say, 65 to 45 really quickly. That's to keep the construction workers safe, and it's a good thing. But it's also a place where a police officer can be hiding and both give you a double fine because it's a construction zone and you get yourself a nice 20 over ticket. Also in the construction zone, always turn your headlights on. As I mentioned before, if it's foggy or raining really hard, sometimes you actually legally have to drive under the speed limit. So monitor the flow of traffic and that'll keep you ticket free. A last little tip, if you live in California or a place where they have carpool lanes or diamond lanes, if the posted sign says 3 or more people required, then you've got to have 3 or more people in your car to drive in that lane. The exception is if you are in a 2-seat car and you have 2 people in it, because you've got the maximum occupancy of the vehicle, you can actually drive in it. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Vehicle Virgins for some extra little bonus tips on highway driving. We've also got some awesome pictures, behind the scenes stuff, things like that. Thanks so much for watching. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you next video.